Where did we stop? In the last class we were talking about the conditional constructs. We have gone through simple if else, if else if, and switch. Today we'll go through looping constructs here. We'll go through looping constructs. Yes, just a second. So looping constructs, you'll find that we use this looping constructs to execute a task a finite or infinite number of times. We can execute a task finite means n number of a specified number of times, or we can also uh, execute the tasks infinite number of times also. Yes, a number of times, it depends. So in Java we got four different types of looping constructs. Four types of looping constructs. Let's check them. First is while loop, the first type of looping construct. So while loop, let's see the syntax of the while loop here. While condition, and you got a set of statements here. Yes. So this syntax, it looks similar to your simple if condition syntax, but it varies slightly. There is a difference, of course. What is it? Let's see. So the while loop always will have a condition associated to it. So this condition should be again a Boolean expression. As we have discussed, a Boolean expression means an expression whose value it always evaluates to either true or false. When that expression is evaluated, the result of that expression should be either true or false. Yes. So you see, to this while loop we'll have a block associated, and in this block you can have set of statements. In this block you can have set of statements. So you can have one or more than one statements in this block. So when this block executes, you see how it works is basically for the first iteration of when you execute this while loop, for the first time it checks for the condition. If that condition is true, then the block associated to this while loop will execute. What if that condition is false? Then the block will not execute. If the condition is false, then the block is not going to execute here. Yes. So if the condition is true, then yes, of course it will execute. Yes. After this block executes, you know what? The while loop will not stop execution here. Okay. What happens is after the block of statements executes, again the condition checking will be done. So if that condition is true, again you'll find that this block of statements will execute. and this block of statements will continuously execute till that condition fails. Okay, after each time that block of statements execute, you'll find that the condition checking will be done. Okay, yes. So this is how it works. Let me give you this in a kind of pseudocode. Step one. So what happens first of all? Okay, condition uh, checking will be done. Okay, or if condition is true for the first time, the condition checking will be done. If condition is true, then block executes. Okay, yes. So step two, what happens again? I can say that actually we call them as iterations. For the first iteration, first condition checking will be done. If condition is true, then block executes. Again, after the block finishes execution, again the same story repeats. Again, the same story repeats. Again, if condition is true, then block executes. So for the first iteration, for the second iteration, for the third iteration, it keeps on executing like that till that condition fails. Till that condition fails. What if the condition, if it doesn't fail, if it is always true, then this block will always execute. That's it. Okay. So now let's take an example uh, how we can use this while loop. Let's see. For suppose here, let's say I have to print a hello world statement. Okay. As of now, if I execute the statement, it prints hello world once, just once. For suppose here, if I want to execute, if I want to print that hello world 5 times, I want to print hello world 5 times. So in order to print hello world 5 times, what you can do is one of the options is you can write this hello world statement 5 times this way. This is one of the options I can say. There can be several options I can tell you people. But let's say just focus on this point that if you got a particular task which you need to execute several times, okay. Now the same task here, printing that hello world, we are trying to print it 5 times. Okay. This is not a great deal, big deal here. If we have to print it 5 times, okay, we can add that SOP statement, system.out.println statement 5 times. It's not a big deal here. Yes. But imagine for suppose if you have to print that statement, if you have to print that statement um, 50 times or 20 times, now you will start thinking, okay, 20 times also you will be little hesitant to write that code 20 times repeatedly, or even if it is 50 times, yes, of course, you'll think if there is any alternate, solution for this. You may think of alternate solution, of course, right? So if you have to if you have to execute the same task repeatedly, okay, um, n number of times, so you people will start thinking now. Yes. So that is where your loops comes into the picture. Okay, we can use this while loop. We can make use of while loop here. Yes, we can make use of while loop. While loop. Let's see how to use this while loop now. Yes. Um, I'll declare a variable I equal to 0 while I less than 10, I plus plus. Okay. So now what happens here, you see, initially we got a variable I, it is initialized to 0. you know, it is mandatory. So the variables which we declare inside the method, before you use them, we have to initialize them with some value. Okay, in Java, the variables which we declare in a method, these variables are called as local variables. And before you use this local variables, you have to initialize them. Okay, otherwise it is considered as an error. Otherwise it is considered as an error. Yes. Okay, now uh, here we got that I value, we have initialized it to 0. What I want to do is, using this while loop, I'm trying to execute that or print that hello world statement 10 times. Okay, that is my goal now, to print hello world statement 10 times. For that, I've written this while loop. How it works, you see the condition, what I've done, the condition I've written this way, I less than 10. That means the block associated to this while loop will repeatedly execute. Okay, will repeatedly execute till uh, that condition fails, I less than 10. Okay, till that condition fails. Yes. So that block associated to that while loop will execute. Yes. How it works, so initially I value is 0. So first the condition checking will be done. Is 0 less than 10? Yes, 0 is less than 10, so condition is true. So this expression evaluates to true here. So the control enters into the loop, so the statements in the block will execute. So first that SOP statement, system.out.println statement, will execute, and it prints hello world. After that you got I plus plus here. So what is this I plus plus? I can say that this expression I plus plus is exactly equivalent to I equal to I plus 1. If there is anyone who is not familiar with this expression I plus plus, it is nothing but it is exactly same as I equal to I plus 1. That means I value will be incremented by 1. Okay, I value will be incremented by 1, I can say. Yes. So each time this expression this executes, it increments I value by 1. So that is what we did here. Now that means, so initially I value 0. So first the condition checking is done, 0 less than 10. The condition is true, SOP statement executes. Now that I value will be incremented by 1, so it becomes 1 now. Initially it is 0, so it becomes 1. Now I value is 1. Now are there any statements in the block to execute? No. So because there are no statements in the block to execute, again the condition checking will be done. After the block executes, what happens? The condition checking will be done. This time I value is 1. So is 1 less than 10? Yes, of course, 1 is less than 10. So the condition is true. Again the control enters into the loop. You got the statement SOP, it prints hello world, and again I value is incremented by 1. So this time I value becomes 2. I value is incremented by 1 again, so it becomes 2. So after that, there are no more statements to execute in the block. So again, the condition checking will be done. Is 2 less than 10? Yes, 2 is less than 10. So again, the condition is satisfied. So the block executes. Now, after the block execution, I value is incremented by 3. And this will repeat, this will continue till I value reaches 10. Okay, so once I value reaches 10, you know what happens? This loop breaks. That means this loop will not execute any further. Yes, if there are any statements after the while loop, they will execute here. Okay, once that condition fails, yes, the loop will break. It will stop execution, I can say. It will terminate. Loop terminates. Yes. So that means now this while loop, the block associated with that while loop will execute for I values 0 through 9. That block associated to the while loop will execute for I values 0 through 9 here. That's it. Okay. So let me run this code. Okay. So it prints hello world 10 times here. Similarly, If you want it to print 50 times, then you can set that condition I less than 50. You can set the condition I less than 50. Yes. Okay. So hope you people got it. So what if, okay, hope everyone is clear, right? So if it is clear, then I have a question for you people. What if I remove this I plus plus? It stops without incrementing. Okay, I got one response. Executes once. Okay, infinite. Infinite times. It executes infinite times. Executes once. Yeah. So I got different answers. Okay. Actually, what happens is this while loop executes infinite number of times. Yes. Now that block associated with that while loop will execute infinite number of times. Why? Because you see, initially I value is 0, and I value in this program here, anywhere in this, especially in this block, that I value, is it changing? It will never change. The I value is always, it will always remain same. It will be 0. I value always going to be 0 here. It won't change. That means that condition will be always true. If so, if the condition is true, then the block executes. So it becomes an infinite loop. So the condition never fails. So this block also will never stop execution. Got it, all of you? So let's run this code. You see, now this is never ending stuff. It will keep on executing like that here. It prints hello world. So if you want to stop it, you see got a red button here, terminate. You can click on this red button, terminate. That's it. Okay. So hope this is clear for you people. Now what if instead of printing hello world, if you want you can print I values as well. If you want to check that, you can do that. Print I values. So in place of hello world, I'm just trying to print I values now. So let me run this code. So it prints 0 through 9. Okay. Yes. So this is about while loop. So shall we move on? So any questions? Okay. We'll talk about the next loop here is do while. The next second loop is do while loop. Yes. Do while, I can say that it is quite opposite to while loop. Do while is quite opposite to while loop here. Yes. You see, in case of while loop, for suppose, what if I value is 100? Just let's take this example. Let's say I value is 100. So what will be the output in this case? So it won't execute. Yes, the output would be nothing. Yes, that's right, exactly. You know what? I value is 100. So for the first time, when this condition is checked, you see the condition uh, is one I less, sorry, I less than 10. So I is not less than 10, it is 100. 100 is not less than 10. So the condition fails. So this block, the block associated to this while loop will never execute. Yes. That means that in that block, it only executes when that condition is true. At least that condition has to be true once if you want that block to execute once. At least once if you want to execute the block, that condition has to be true once, at least once. Otherwise, it won't execute. Yes. You see, if I run this code, it will be blank. There's no output here. So in case of while loop, always the condition checking will be done first. If that condition is true, then only the block associated to the while loop will execute. That is what happens with while loop. Always first the condition checking will be done. Only if the condition is true, then the block executes. Yes. Okay. Now, in case of do while, it is quite opposite. That means, first of all, okay, let me give you people the syntax. First of all, you'll have a block here, block of statements. First of all, this block will execute, and then you'll have the condition checking will be done. Yes. First, the block executes, and then the condition checking is done here. Yes. So, if this condition is true, again the block executes. First block executes, then the condition checking is done. If the condition is true, again the block executes, and this will repeat till that condition fails. Okay, just reverse of it, quite opposite to while. That's it. Okay, you see, if the same condition here, if we use it for do while, it executes at least once. You see, um, I've just changed it to do while. Now you see the condition is same, but this time we're using do while loop. So what will be the output here in this case? So this time it prints I value as 100. That's it. It prints 100 and it will stop execution. That block only executes once. You see, it prints 100 and it stops. That's it. So this is how your do while works. Okay. Now, when do we use this do while loop? Can you people give me at least one use case for this? At least one scenario where we use this do while. Just one example. At least one use case for do while. Uh, okay, one more thing. Just a minute. Harshita, hi. Can you hear me? Are you speaking by any chance? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. If you can hear me, just you can type it in the chat box that you got in the GoToMeeting. You can just use chat box. I can't hear you. Oh. Hello?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, 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 Arshita.
Yeah,
Okay. Hope
yeah.
you're able.
Sorry, I was late for the
No,
session.
no problem. Yeah, you're able to see the screen, right?
Yeah, yeah. Everything. The
Yes.
how long it was started?
Yeah.
Anything has covered?
Half hour. Just listen to the session, okay? I'll talk to you after.
Okay, fine.
Just listen.
Sure.
So,
So,
make sure that your mic is also muted. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Please make sure that your mic is muted. We'll find mic option. You can just click on that mic symbol will be there.
okay.
Just to reduce that background noise, make sure that your mic
Yeah.
is muted. Yeah, that's it. Great. So if you got any questions, you can just unmute your mic and talk to me. Okay. Okay, fine. So, yes. So this is do while, and can you people give me a case, a scenario where a use case where we can use this do while? Yes. Okay. So generally, this do while, how it works? Okay. I got one answer. Great. Let me just read it out. So if you want, you know what, actually you don't need to type that lengthy. So what you can do is you can unmute and talk to me. I only ask you people to mute your mics because, while I'm speaking, you can mute it so that we can just reduce this background noise or echo if there is any. The recording clarity will be good. As I told you people, I'll be sharing the records every day. So I want to make sure that that records, the audio clarity is good for you people. That's it. Okay, so if you want to execute only, so let me read the answer. Sorry. So if you want to execute only the initial value declared, and in some cases, if the value desired is less than given value, it executes until the value. Okay. Um, or I can say, I'll give you a simple use case. Yeah, assume that this use case applies. Um, Especially that ATM. So when you visit an ATM center, you'll find that first of all, you'll be asked to provide the PIN. Once you swipe the card, so you have to provide that PIN code, and then you'll specify the transaction, what you want to do. Let's say if you want to withdraw, you'll specify that withdrawal amount and all. And then, after it takes all this input, then only it checks for that PIN. You know that? So have you people noticed it? Even if you enter the wrong PIN initially, so it won't immediately throw an error because it won't validate that pin initially. What it does, after you provide the pin, even if it is wrong pin, first of all, it will ask you people to uh, proceed further and specify the transaction, whether you want to withdraw, you know, whatever you want to do. And once you specify the transaction details, or the withdrawal amount or whatever it is, then you'll be asked to, then it will validate it. It will take all this data, collect this data, and then it will validate it. Okay. So this is one of the use case, I can say, scenario where do while can be used. Yes. So why it won't check till we provide all the details? Yes. Why it won't immediately check for PIN and then ask us to proceed further for the transaction? What do you people think? Any idea? So you got my question,
The,
all of you. Don't worry about the answer. Have you understood the question?
the syntax is like that.
Okay.
First,
So
do-
yeah. Anyone wants to answer? Just for information sake, though, it is too early for us to talk about it. Just for your information sake, I'll tell you people. You know what? Generally, our credentials, especially that PIN code and all, so they won't be stored in the ATM center in that machine. Okay, so they'll be in the server. So the details have to be fetched from the database. The details have to be fetched from the database, which is in the backend on the server side. The server is somewhere on the remote, in a remote location, and this machine, ATM machine, has to connect to that server and get the details. So, so that's the reason why you see what it does is it will take all the details first, and then it establishes the connection, and then it sends this details and gets it validated on the server side. So it need not, repeatedly interact with the server in the backend. It may affect the performance of the application. So I hope you got it. Even if you don't understand, don't worry. Yes. So to make sure that it only interacts with the server once quickly, without to avoid multiple interactions and all. Yes, it does that. Yes. Okay. Don't worry much. But this one use case, what I told you people, you see, first you have to provide all the details, and then only it validates your pin, and then it proceeds further. Yes. Okay, fine. Hope you got it. So that is about do while. Okay. Yes. Next, we got for loop. The third type of looping construct is for loop. For loop. So for loop, you know what? I can say that whatever the tasks which we can do with while, it is definitely possible to do the same tasks using for loop as well. You can do the same tasks using for loop as well. Yes. So first of all, we'll try to understand how the for loop works, the syntax of the for loop. We'll go through it. Yes. So the syntax is this, sorry, for condition, sorry. So this is the syntax of for loop. I'll explain it. Don't worry. Just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah. Sorry. So this is the syntax of for loop. Let me explain it. So first of all, you see, you'll have a declaration part here. So declaration part of that for loop is usually it is used for declaring a variable. Okay. So the declaration part is used to declare a variable, a temporary variable, which we can use for this loop. Okay. Yes. And you see the condition, the way you got a condition for the while loop, similarly you'll have a condition for the for loop also. And you see the block of statements associated to this for loop also will execute repeatedly, continuously till that condition fails. Yes, till that condition fails here. Yes. And the last part of this loop here, sorry, not last, here in this line, you got incrementation or decrementation part, I can say. Yes, you got incrementation or decrementation. So this part of this loop, basically it is used to write the code to increment that variable, temporary variable. or decrement the temporary variable value. Yes, which we use for the loop. Yes. So you see again you got block of statements. So how it works putting together, let's see for the first iteration. Okay, so iteration 1, initially the declaration part executes. Okay, declaration part executes, and then in the during the declaration part what happens, when it executes you'll find that a variable will be declared, initialization will be done. After that, condition checking, this part will execute. And you know what, here if this condition, if it evaluates to true, okay, so if true, I'll just write it here, if true, then what happens, if true, then block executes. Okay, block executes. You got this block associated with the for loop, right? That block executes here. So after the block execution, what happens next? You see, in the second iteration, first incrementation part executes in the second iteration. What about the declaration? Declaration only executes once. The declaration part here, it only executes once. Okay, so from the second iteration onwards, first incrementation or decrementation part executes, and then the condition checking will be done, and then if the condition is true, then that block executes. And this steps will be repeated till that condition fails. This will be repeated, so on like this, okay, till the condition fails. Yep, this is how your for loop executes. So now let me demonstrate it with an example. So I'm creating a for loop here. So the same task which we have executed earlier with while loop, printing hello world 10 times. Let me do it using while loop, sorry, for loop. So I'll do this hello world. You see, int I equal to 0. So this part of the loop is declaration part. Okay. Hi Sadbir, please mute your mic. Good morning, please mute your mic. Okay, thank you. So you see, this is declaration part, int I equal to 0, and then we got the condition checking, I less than 10. So after that you got the incrementation or decrementation part. We will write the code to increment or decrement the variable, and then you got the block here. Yes, as I told you people, first you see, for the first time the I variable will be initialized to 0, condition checking will be done. So in this case 0 is less than 10, that is a condition, it is true, so the block executes. So from the second iteration onwards, first of all I value will be incremented, that incrementation part executes, and then the condition checking will be done, and if the condition is true, the block executes. Again for the third iteration also, first incrementation part executes, it increments I value, and then condition checking, then the block execution. So this will repeat till that condition fails. That's it. Okay, so let me run this code. That's it. Okay, so you got that hello world 10 times. So this way we can use a for loop here. So hope you people understood how this for loop executes, right? Okay, any questions? Okay, good. Now, you see the same task, we were able to execute it using while loop and for loop, right? What do you people think, which loop is better here? While loop or for loop? Which loop is better? For loop. Okay. So why do you think for loop is better? Is anyone answering the question? Yeah, Vani. Are you speaking by any chance?
Yeah,
Yes, Vani, tell me.
yeah, I'm Harshita here. For loop will be better because everything is done in one statement. It checks, it initializes, it checks it, then the block will be executed.
Yes,
So
that's
I think for loop will be the better than the do and while.
yes. Yeah, that's right. You see, in case of yeah, you got everything in case of one for loop, we got everything in one statement here. We got the declaration part, condition checking, incrementation, all these things we are doing it in single line. So in single statement we got all the stuff. Though it won't execute in that order as I told you people. So I can say that the for loop it looks more organized, better organized compared to the while loop, right? For loop, it looks better organized compared to the while loop here. So that's the reason why you'll find that we'll be using for loop frequently. Yes, and while loop is also used, but as I told you people, in case of while loop, what happens now? It is not much organized because the declaration of the variable will be done somewhere. The condition checking will be somewhere in the while loop, and the incrementation or decrementation part will be somewhere. So you see, a if it is a small loop, maybe we can easily read or understand that loop. If it is a big loop, then you have to search where is the declaration done, where is the condition, and where is that incrementation done. You have to search for those things because they are not in a single statement, and you can't do this in while loop. The way we have declared this, written the statements here in a single line, you can't do that in while loop. Okay. Yes. So hope everyone got it. So any questions in this regard, please let me know.
So using the loops depends on us or according to the program.
Now you see, as I told you people, we can execute this the given task. The same task can be executed using for loop and while loop. So now it depends on us. And for loop, as I told you people, it's better organized. So easy to use, right? In few cases, you may also opt for while. So you'll see such cases also later on. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
So especially for infinite loops, uh, you'll find that we'll be using while a lot. Yes, you'll see that.
oh, oh.
Okay. So any other questions? Okay. Uh, I got one answer which I would like to read. So yeah, you see the statement. The the statement which you said it executes every time checking condition. Yes, it is true for both while loop as well as for loop. In case of while loop also, the block it always executes first by checking the condition itself. If the condition is true, then only the condition, then only the block executes. Even in case of for loop also the same story. So first that condition has to be true. First the condition checking will be done, then only the block executes. Yes. Okay, fine. So now um, I would like to talk about. I want you people to please. Someone has to mute it. I guess Wani. Yeah, thank you. Yes. So initially for few days, I have to remind you people because after few days you'll get habituated to it. Yeah. Till that time, have to just remind you people. Yes. Okay. Now we'll talk about this break and continue statements. Break and continue. Yes. So break here. This break statement, you'll find that usually we use it to terminate a loop. I guess earlier also we have used break. So where did you use break earlier? In switch. Yes. In switch we have used it. So to terminate a switch case, you can use break. So, but you'll find that we can also use break for loops as well. For loop, for while loop, for do while, break works for all the loops. Now basically using a break statement, we can terminate the loop abruptly in the middle of the execution itself. If you want to terminate the loop abruptly in the middle of the execution, then you can use a break statement. Yes. For example, here I'll write this condition. So if I equal to 5, then I would like to break. Okay. Yes. So I want that break statement execute if that condition is true. So that means this for loop will only execute for I values 0 through 4. When I value is 5, when I value reaches 5, even in that case, you see the control enters into the loop, into that block. But we got a condition here, uh, which becomes true, and simply the break statement executes, which will terminate this loop now. Okay, so it instructs the control to terminate the loop. That's it. So the loop will stop execution here. So that hello world statement, how many times it will be printed now?
Six times.
So this time, not 9 times. The break will completely terminate the loop. So it prints hello world statement for I value 0 through 4. That's it. Once I value reaches 5, you see the break statement executes, right? Once the break statement executes, now if there are any statements in the block, they won't execute. Straight away, the control comes out of the loop here. Okay, straight away the control comes out of the loop. Yes, and if there are any statements after the loop, they will execute. So it prints 5 times, 0 through 5. So sorry, 0 through 4, right? For I value 0, I value 4. Sorry, I value 0, I value 1, 2, 3, 4. For I values 0 through 4, it prints hello world. 0 through 4 means 5, right? 5 values you got. So it prints hello world 5 times. That's it. When I value reaches 5, that time the loop breaks. So partially the block executes, and the rest of the statements in the block will not execute once the break statement executes. Yes. Okay. So it prints 5 times. Yes. So there is a question from Ravi. What if we don't want to execute only for I value 5? We don't want to execute this loop only for I value 5 and continue for the remaining values of I till 10. Then what to do? So that is where you're going to use continue instead of break. You see, as of now, the break you understood, right, all of you? So here we can use continue. We can use continue. So what happens now? Okay. So when this condition I value, when this condition is true, when that condition will be true, when I value is 5. In that case, you see the continue statement executes. So the continue statement, what it does is here, it will instruct the control to skip the current iteration. Continue statement instructs the control to skip the current iteration. That means if there are any statements to be executed here in this block, they won't be executed. Straight away the control goes to the next iteration. That means once the continue statement executes, after that, you see, if there are any statements in the block, they won't execute. Straight away the control will go to this I++. Straight away the control goes to the I++ here. That means to the incrementation or decrementation part. Once that continue statement executes, from that continue statement, straight away the control goes to the incrementation or decrementation part. Okay, so only for that current iteration, you see the statements in the block after the continue statement, whatever the statements you got in the block after continue, they will not execute. Yes. So we are just skipping the current iteration here. That's it. That is what you've asked for, Ravi, right? That is what happens. This time, hello world, how many times it will be printed? This time, how many times it will be printed? 9 times. Yes. Yeah. Just a minute, please. Just a minute. Sorry, guys. Okay. So it should print hello world 9 times. Okay. Once it will skip. That's it. So you can count it. This time it should be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. So this is how the continue works. So to skip a current iteration, okay, we can use continue. Whereas break, it will completely terminate the loop. Yes. So any questions in this regard, please let me know.
what if we want to get a different output only in fifth? I mean, if I double equals to 5,
I double equal to 5. If you want to
we
print
need,
only I 5,
yeah,
then simple.
yeah.
Now you write that code here. Um, just a minute. So in that case, we can just, you don't even need continue. You say when I value is 5, let's say only when I value is 5, I would like to print that value and break the loop. You can do this.
Okay. No, I'm asking, sir. No, I mean, if you want to get a different statement for I double equal to 5 and the remaining for hello world.
Okay. You want a different statement when I value is 5.
Yes.
Yeah. In that case, you can just make sure that you do the same here. For I, what you want to do, you can just write that code here. You have to just keep this continue statement like this. And before the continue statement, now you can just specify, okay, what you want to do. Here you can just, before this continue statement, you can write the task, whatever you want to do here. So let's say
Oh, okay.
this time I'll just print I is 5. Only for that I, when I value is 5, I would like to print the statement I is 5. So first it prints,
Oh,
if this statement executes, after that you see the continue statement, what it does, it will skip this current iteration now. It will cause the current iteration to skip. So this statement will not execute now. For I value 5, this hello world statement will not execute. So control goes to I++. That's it.
okay.
So because here this SOP statement which prints I is 5 is within this condition, only when that condition is met, if it is true, then only that statement is executed. Yeah. You see, only for with I value 5, you got a different statement.
Okay.
So hello world, still it will be printed 9 times. That's it, not 10 times. Yeah. Okay. So any other questions? Okay. So shall I assume that this is clear for you people? Okay. So the next thing is here, we'll talk about the nested loops. Nested loops. Nested loops. Yes. Nested loop means a loop inside a loop. A loop inside a loop here. That is a nested loop. Yes. So let's see this nested loops here. Yes. Let's say you got a for loop, and I'll just do this. In this for loop again, I will add another for loop. Yes. This way. And then I'll do this. Okay. So I'm using print statement, a print method, I'm sorry, to print that J value. So earlier we have used println. So what is the difference between print and println? So there is a small difference. Actually, both print and println methods will print the values which are stored in the variables. But when it comes to print method, what it does is, after printing that value, it won't move the cursor to the next line. So cursor remains in the same line. Whereas in case of println, after printing the value, it moves the cursor to the next line here. It will move the cursor to the next line. That is the difference. Okay, hope you people got it. Yeah. So now this outer loop, how many times it iterates? 5 times. Now the inner loop here, okay, so let's forget about outer loop. Just if you consider that loop which I have highlighted now, this loop, how many times it iterates generally? How many times it is supposed to iterate? 3 times. Yes. But you know what here? This loop is not an independent loop. It is not an independent loop. So this is inside another loop here. This loop is inside another loop. That means now for each iteration of that outer loop, the inner loop iterates 3 times, I can say. For each iteration of outer loop, the inner loop iterates 3 times. That means altogether, the inner loop, how many times it iterates now? Altogether, inner loop, how many times it iterates? 15 times. Yes, it iterates 15 times. That's right. So all the statements, sorry, especially the statements which are in this inner loop, okay, that statement will execute 15 times here. Okay, fine. So can you people trace the output for this program? Can you people trace the output for this program? Okay, 0, 1, 2. Okay, okay. So instead of that, Rupa, you could have just written 0, 1, 2, 5 times in short. Okay, so the answer is 0, 1, 2, 5 times. It prints 0, 1, 2, 5 times. You see? So how it works exactly? Let's see. Just a second, please. Just a second. Yeah, sorry. So here, first of all, you see when this program executes, so that outer loop, that main loop which you got here, so that I value is initialized to 0, and the condition checking will be done. So is 0 less than 5? Yes, 0 is less than 5. The condition is true. So the control enters into the loop, and then see this loop which is inside that outer loop will start execution. So here again j value is initialized to 0. J value, the condition checking will be done. Is j less than 3? Yes, of course. J is less than 3. So the condition is true. So the control enters into the loop and it prints that j value. J value is printed as 0. J value will be printed as 0. And then after that, what happens again? Um, J value is incremented by 1, and then the condition checking will be done. So is j less than 3? Yes, 1 is less than 3. So again the condition is true. The control enters into the loop and it prints j value is 1. See, the control will not go to the next, sorry, the cursor will not move to the next line. The cursor will be in the same line itself. Yes. Next, again, after printing j value here, you'll find that j value is incremented by 1 again. That means it becomes 2. Again, the condition checking is done. Is 2 less than 3? Yes, the condition is true. So the control enters into the loop, it prints 2. And then the j value is incremented by 3. J value becomes 3 now. This time, the condition fails. 3 is not less than 3. Yes. Okay. So that is what happens. After that, the control comes out of the loop. You see this line number 12, when it executes, it prints, sorry, it moves the cursor to the next line. It won't print anything, simply moves the cursor to the next line here. Yes. After that, again, now there are no more statements to execute in this loop. All right, this block I can say. So now I value is incremented by 1. So I value is incremented by 1 here. And then the condition checking will be done. Is 1 less than 5? Yes, of course. 1 is less than 5. The control enters in the loop. And again, you see this inner loop. It executes the same way as it did earlier. So I value is initialized to 0. The condition checking is done. And you see it prints the G values 1, 2, and 3. Sorry, 0, 1, 2. So for each value of I here, 0 through 4, for each value of I, so that inner loop executes, iterates 3 times, and it prints j values 0, 1, 2. Okay, once I value reaches 5, that loop will stop execution here. Yes. So that is how it works. Hope you people got it. So any questions in this regard? Yes, Sarun. You got any questions? Yeah. Anyone got any questions? Okay, good. So if you're clear with this, let me just do this here. Say if I equal to 2, then I'll break the loop. Okay, I'll add break statement. I want that break statement to execute. So can you people tell me what will be the output here this time? Zero 1 5 times, okay. 0 1 3 times, okay. I'm getting different answers here. 0 1 5 times, okay. Okay, okay. 0 1
5
2 0 1 2 0 1 2, okay. So you people are missing one thing here. Actually, first of all, I have a question for you people. So this will be in your minds as well. So one confusion will be there. Now this break statement, will it break the inner loop or outer loop? The break statement which you got here, will it break the inner loop or outer loop? It breaks the inner loop. Okay, because with that break statement is in that inner loop. You people are right, but you're interpreting it wrongly. That is wrong. What you said. I do agree. What you understood is right. Exactly. The break statement will terminate the inner loop, but the answer should be different. It should not be 0 1 5 times. The answer is something else. When that inner loop will be terminating? When it terminates when I value is 2. Only when I value is 2, inner loop terminates. For all other values of I, the inner loop executes without any issues the same way. Yes. So what should be the output then? What should be the output? It should print 0 1 2 4 times. It should print 0 1 2 4 times, right? Yes, that's right. Why you're saying 0 1 5 times? So it's simple. Let's see. I'll run this code. Only when I value is 2, that loop breaks. So for all other values of I, it works normally without any issues. Yes, you got it, all of you? Anyone got any issues in this regard, please let me know. Only when I value is 2, this inner loop breaks. That means it won't print anything. But for other values of I, it executes normally without any issues. Yeah. So any questions? Okay, good. I have a question for you people. So this break statement which you got here, as of now it terminates the inner loop, right? What if I want that break statement to terminate the outer loop? What if I want the break statement to terminate the outer loop?
We need to use continue for the total.
No, no. Continue is different, right? It won't terminate the loop. I want to terminate a loop here. So continue won't terminate. It will only skip a particular iteration. That's it, right?
Uh,
So write outer. Okay, write it in outer loop. Okay, keep in outer loop. Okay. Okay, I expect this. This is expected answer. Yes, you'll ask me to place this break statement in the outer loop. But let's say I want that break statement to be what you said is right. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me tell you, people. I don't want to disappoint you, people. Yes, of course, what you said is right. So, but the thing is here, I want that break statement to be in that inner loop itself, but it should terminate outer loop. The break statement should be in the inner loop itself, inside the inner loop, but it should terminate outer loop. How? So, hope you understood the question. Okay. Uh, I got one answer. We can title loops and specify to break outer. We don't say title here, but actually it is called as a label. Yes, we can label a loop, a statement in Java. I would like to label, what you can do is, the answer for this question is, you can label this for loop now. See, just add something like this, outer. Just a name. The name can be anything you wish. The label name can be anything, followed by colon. So wherever you see this kind of syntax, you see, especially this kind of notation, variable name followed by a colon, you need to understand that it's a label. Okay. So now that label is used to mark a statement. Okay, it marks that statement now. So now that label, that outer, it refers to that outer loop. In that statement you got this outer loop, right? So that label, it refers to that outer loop. Okay, yes. Now I can do this break outer. That's it. Break outer. So I'm using that label name here. Outer, it refers to outer loop. So as I told you, people, the label name can be anything. It need not be outer here. Okay. It is 012 012. It prints twice. So hope you people got it. Now you see, because the complete loop terminates here. So when I value is 0, okay, the inner loop works fine. When I value is 1, inner loop works fine. But when I value is 2, not only inner loop, this time the outer loop also terminates. So if the outer loop terminates, there is no scope for the inner loop to execute, right? Yeah. So this is what happens. So is it clear for you people? Anyone got any questions in this regard? Okay. So this is about the nested loops. You break, continue. I hope I made you people comfortable with this. If so, I got some questions for you people. Let's check them. A couple of exercises at least. Just a minute. Okay, sure. Okay. Yeah. So all of you just check this question. So what's the answer for this question? Okay. So I got one answer. Okay. So let me tell you one thing. Here there is no error in this program. There's no error. Yeah. So the right answer is 0 to 4. 0 to 4. Okay. Yes. So let's see how. So you got this I, initially it is initialized to 0, but the declaration part we are not using it in this loop. So is that okay? Yes, it's fine, you can do that. So you may not use, it's optional, the declaration part, even condition is optional here, I'll tell you people. So what is this I plus equal to 2? In the incrementation part, you got I plus equal to 2. So few people may have issues understanding that. So I plus equal to 2. So that statement is same as I equal to I plus 2. That means that expression increments I value by 2. Trying to increment I value by 2. Yes. Okay. Now, here, when this for loop executes, initially I value will be 0. So is 0 less than 4? Yes, 0 is less than 4. So condition is true. Because the condition is true, you see the block executes here. It prints I value is 0. And after the block execution, the incrementation part executes, which increments I value by 2. So I value becomes true now. And the condition checking will be done. So 0 is less than, sorry, 2 is less than 4. Yes, of course, 2 is less than 4. So again, the control enters into the loop. It prints I value is 2. And after that, again, this time the incrementation part executes, which increments I value by 2 again. That means I value becomes 4 now. Is 4 less than 4? No. I is not less than 4. So the condition fails. Straight away, the control comes out of the loop. And this statement here, which you got in line number 14, it prints I value. Now I value is 4, so it prints 4. So the loop prints 0 2, and once the control comes out of the loop, line number 14 prints 4. That's it. So the answer is 0 2 4. So is it clear for you people? Okay, good. So line number 12, in line number 12, okay, there is a question, let me check once. So in line number 12, okay, print, yeah, print a statement as I told you people. It just prints I value and prints value and will not move the cursor to the next line. So this is just a plus double quotes here. It is nothing but it is just to deviate you people, that's it. Plus double quotes is nothing but it's a string with nothing. That means I value we are concatenating with a string value which is nothing, so there won't be any effect. Okay, fine. So hope you people are clear. In line number 14, okay, yeah, println. So okay, it prints, as I told you people, this method println, after printing the value it moves the cursor to the next line, not before printing the value. So it doesn't matter now. After printing it, if the cursor moves to the next line, in this case this is the last line, right? So it won't make much difference. Okay, fine. So next, I'll show you people another question. Oh, sorry, just a minute. Sorry, just a minute. I lost that question. Here it is. Okay. So just check this question. Um, Answer the question. So hope you are able to see the question, right? Are you people able to see this question? Okay, okay, fine. Okay. So don't be in a hurry. Take your time. So I will wait for you people. Your answers. Okay, don't worry. Just once again review it. Yeah. Okay, so the answer is D. The right answer is D. So let me explain it. Okay, so I'll explain it. You see, uh, you got a for loop, and inside the for loop you have the switch, right? And in switch you got three cases. So now first of all, you see for the first iteration of for loop, I value will be 0, so that that I value will be passed on to the switch. The condition will be true, so I value will be passed on to switch. In switch, what happens? Case 0 executes. I value 0 initially, so case 0 executes, and it will, you got break statement associated to that case 0. So the break statement, now the question is here, the break statement, will it terminate the switch case or the for loop? Switch, yes, it terminates the switch, not the for loop, because it's in the switch, right? Because the break statement is, it is in switch, so it will terminate the switch case itself. Okay, fine. So now once that switch case terminates, there are no more statements to execute in the block. So again, I value will be incremented. This incrementation part executes, it increments I value by 1. And the condition checking will be done, so that I value 1 will be passed on to that switch. So I value 1, it matches this case 1 now, and it prints 1. After that, you see there is no break statement, so case 2 also executes, and it prints 2. And case 3 also executes, it prints 3. It means 1, 2, 3, all the three values will be printed now. After that, there are no more statements to execute here in the switch. So I will, that incrementation part executes, which increments I value by 1 again. Now it becomes 2. So it's 2 less than 3. Yes, of course 2 is less than 3. So here that I value 2 will be passed on the switch. So case 2 executes, it prints 2. Case 3 executes, it prints 3. And after that, you see here there are no more statements to execute. So again, I value will be incremented here by 1. So I value becomes 3 this time. So is 3 less than 3? No. So condition fails. So the control comes out of the loop. Here you got statement in line number 19. It prints done. So first, for the first iteration, nothing will be printed. For the second iteration, 1, 2, 3 will be printed. For the third iteration, 2, 3 will be printed. And after the third iteration, the loop breaks. And once the control comes out of the breaks here, sorry, out of the loop, in line 19 you got a statement which prints done. That's it. So the answer is D here. So is it clear for you people, all of you? So anyone got any questions? Okay. So if this is clear, okay, then I'll stop it here today. So we'll meet tomorrow again and we'll continue discussion. Okay, people who have just joined today, you can just stay for a while and others can leave. Okay, yes.